Hi, I'm Kieran Don, and welcome to the Kieran Don channel on YouTube. So today was a pretty big day for boxing. I got up at 5 o'clock to watch the Joseph Parker versus Derek Chisora heavyweight fight. It was a rematch of a fight earlier this year. And when they fought earlier this year, there was no one in the crowd, so there was a crowd, so it was good. Joseph Parker won, which I'm happy about. Yeah, he's a New Zealander, so New Zealanders is like it's like a brother to Australia, a cousin or something. But I don't know. It wasn't the most interesting fight. Both men looked really tired at the end of it. It was alright. I mean, Parker won. The judges did that weird scoring thing again when they made the fight closer than it was. But that's not the fight. That's not the fight anyone's really talking about today. Jake Paul had another fight. Jake Paul versus Tyron Woodley 2, because Tyson Fury's brother, Tommy Fury, the reality TV star, half brother, pulled out. He had, I don't know, a chest infection and a broken rib. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, it was good. It was done by Showtime. I kind of like it when Triller does the Jake Paul fights better, because it's just utter chaos. Like when Jake Paul versus Asquin, they had like all these rappers and they had like a 20-minute like rap concert in the middle of it. Black Keys open, they were good. Doja Cat played, she was good. But had that Jake Paul had a guy dressed as a robot who came to the ring with him. Pete Davidson hosted it. The commentators were smoking pot. There was a random slapping comp in the middle of the pay-per-view with Ric Flair. I don't know what Ric Flair was doing. He wasn't really commentating. He wasn't really refereeing, but he was there. They would have paid a fortune. But no, it was Showtime, so there was a little bit of dignity. The pay-per-view started off with Yoma Alamo. I think he's Puerto Rican, versus Australian Liam Parrow, and Liam Parrow won. It's good. I think Australian boxing is in a real good place at the moment. We've got a lot of quality boxers. Alamo was ranked 8 in the world, so I don't know if that makes Parrow maybe somewhere in the top 10 now. I don't know what he was ranked before the fight, but it was a good fight. So yeah, it was a pretty good boxing match. Then the next fight, it was like a thriller special, even though it was on Showtime. It was a former NBA player versus a former NFL player in an arena where NHL plays ice hockey. So it was like free sports to meet. So it was Dion Williams, who played for the Jazz, Nets when they were in New Jersey, Dallas, and Cleveland. I think he's played a couple All-Star games. He fought Frank Gore, the legendary running back. He still wants to play. He's of course played for the Jets, 49ers, Colts, Miami, and the Buffalo Bills. And it was a train wreck of a match, really. No offense to both guys. It was entertaining, and both guys are legends of their sport. Frank Gore is a Hall of Famer. I don't know if Williams will be a Hall of Famer in basketball, but they were pushing each other to where, like, that both occasions, both men pushed each other almost through the rings, the ropes. It was crazy. Williams won, and that's enough said. It was a train wreck, but it was like a train wreck, which is good when you're watching. Then you think back and it's like, oh no. It's funny the first time, but the more you think back on it, the sadder it gets. Then the next match, it was a women's boxing match, and it was an absolute onslaught. Amanda Serrano, who trains with Jake Paul, she was on the last pay-per-view. She's somehow won a belt in 7 different weight divisions. I don't even know how that's possible. That's absolutely crazy. I think she's been undefeated for 10 years, and I think they're lining her up for a title shot with Katie Fletcher. I think that's the name, Katie Fletcher. Which I would like to see, and if that's the case, hopefully that's like the headlining fight of the pay-per-view. I can't remember the last time when two women headlined a pay-per-view. Oh, actually, I think there was one this year with that showing girl who wore lingerie. But anyway, yeah, do your research, Kieran. Hey, this video is pretty much improv. I'm just talking shit. But anyway, Mana Serrano defeated another girl. I can't pronounce the name. Maria Gazzarino or something. I'm white trash. I'm not very good at pronouncing names. But yeah, there was no doubt that Amanda won. There was no doubt Amanda won. Like, she absolutely smashed it. The girl was gracious in defeat, and Amanda was graceful in winning. So yeah, then the main event. Actually, before the main event, my favorite thing was they interviewed Nate Diaz, the UFC legend. I don't even know he's never actually held a title, and he was either drunk or he got too many blows to the head, and they're interviewing him, and then they're like, are you going to watch the main event? And he's like, no, I don't give a fuck about that. And he was only there for one of the other fighters. And the interviewer goes, who do you reckon's going to win the main event? And again, he's like, I don't give a fuck. Which, that's a classic Diaz move. Both brothers. Nick and Nate, of course, Nick is famous for fighting in a hospital after a UFC match. So, yeah. I kind of like those two because they remind me of, like, I went to a school in a rough area, and it kind of reminds me of, like, someone who wasn't necessarily in my grade and then maybe a couple grades above me, but they still hung out at school. We had a couple of people like that. So they left school, didn't get a job, but they still hung out at school. Funny thing is, the people who did that, they dropped out of school. It's like, man, if you're going to do that, why did you drop out? Anyway, that's not the point. Anyway, now to Jake Paul versus tyron Woodley 2. It started off all right. I mean, the last fight was a bit of a fizzle, and it went to like scorecards, and they had that little argument at the end where tyron Woodley's like, I reckon I won, and Jake Paul's like, well, if you get a tattoo, I'll fight you again. You got to get a I love Jake Paul tattoo, and tyron Woodley did, and it was on the middle finger, which was pretty funny. But anyway, so then this fight started off alright. They were punching each other. It was alright. Then I think maybe round 3 it started getting crap. Round 4, literally nothing happened. It was like one of those filler episodes of a TV drama or an anime. Remember Naruto? When Naruto had those like 100 episodes of filler where nothing happened? That was that 4th round. Then it picked up again, and Jake Paul got elbowed in the face. He started bleeding. A little bit went on, and then Jake Paul knocked tyron Woodley out. Fell straight to the floor. Not that I'm a biggest Woodley fan, but I did kind of feel sorry for him. He actually did look upset when he lost. That's his career over. Like, he was on a big losing streak in the UFC, and now is 0 for 2 in boxing. Apparently, he was meant to fight someone else in January. He took this fight with 2 weeks' notice after Tommy Fury pulled out. So I don't know who he was meant to fight before, if he's still going to fight him. But Woodley just retire. I think he'd be in the UFC Hall of Fame. Now Jake Paul has knocked out everyone he fought. And the only person he didn't knock out was tyron Woodley, who he just knocked out in that match. So he literally knocked out everyone he fought. And he's like, what's next? Who's next? I'm thinking, well, maybe an actual full-time boxer. I mean, I guess Tommy Fury was a full-time boxer. Well, he's a boxer. I wouldn't say he's a full-time boxer. He's a boxer who's living off his half-brother fame, and I think he was on Love Island or something. But yeah, I don't know, I guess Jake Paul will probably fight him. Or Mayweather. Anyone can fight Mayweather. If you have enough money, you can fight Mayweather. I could fight Mayweather if I had enough money, you know? So if you want to donate money to this channel so I can fight Floyd Mayweather, I probably need maybe $5 million. Just, well, start a Kickstarter fund, a GoFundMe. GoFundMe so Kieran can fight Floyd Mayweather, you know? Maybe if I earn enough money, I can actually fight him in Penrith, you know? Evans Theatre. which is a big theatre, but nowhere near as big enough to hold a boxing match of Floyd Mayweather standard. I think maybe $30 million, and all the money can just go to Floyd Mayweather. I reckon we could get Floyd Mayweather to Penrith to fight me. Yeah. Thanks for watching. This video was a bit of a train wreck, just like Jake Paul's boxing. I mean, I don't mind what Jake Paul's doing. I mean, Jake Paul's getting people who won't necessarily watch boxing into boxing. You know, I know a few people who never watch a boxing match, but they were watching the Jake Paul boxing match. And I think people saying he's an idiot, but I think he's quite smart. He's worked out that if people hate you, they will watch your pay-per-view to watch you, hopefully watch you get knocked out. Now, they may be disappointed, but just keep acting like a dickhead and they will hire the next pay-per-view in the hope that you'll get knocked out. Isn't that right? Yes. Yeah, so I reckon Jake Paul is going good. And a few of the boxers in the undercards, they're on like mainstream fights now. I can't remember his name. The guy who walked out the little French French bulldog in the last pay-per-view last week. I forget his name. Something Love Valentine or something. He was discovered on a Jake Paul undercard. So it gives other fighters a chance. Yeah, people are saying it's shitting on boxing. Maybe it is, but I actually think there is some benefits to what he's doing. Jake, that is. I don't think there's any benefits in what Logan's doing. That Mayweather fight was the fucking worst. I'm glad a pub in my area played that and I didn't pay for it. And I'm glad I was drinking pretty heavily when that pay-per-view was on. My friend bought buffalo wings, which was good. I had some buffalo wings. That was the highlight of the Jake Paul Floyd Mayweather fight. Anyway, thanks for watching. Kieran Don, out.